All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. This is a pretty exceptional room of people, and I'm excited to be able to talk to peers. I love seeing people in the real estate industry. This industry is, part and close to my heart. So thank you all for being here and for the opportunity to speak to you. Today, we're going to talk about networking mastery, and we'll get into many more things about this. Real quick, my name's Ken Schreiner. I'm the principal broker of Front Runner Real Estate here in town. I'd like to thank Scott and Liz for giving another broker the opportunity to speak. That's a very confident thing for them to be able to do. So I want to say thank you for that. I am the managing partner of White Oak Mortgage. So Jefferson Waters, if you guys know him, he's a longtime industry professional. He's the principal broker there. And tonight, if you'll be coming to the tasting, I own AJ Schreiner Spirits. So the whiskey and the gin that you'll be drinking tonight is stuff that we made. And this is, and I'll have some hidden under my table if you guys want to come have a little sneak peek. I'll be slurring my words by tonight. So a little bit about me, born and raised in Kentuckiana. I love Louisville. I love Kentucky. It's my home. I've traveled, and I was a sales trainer for a national car dealership for many, many years, starting in 2007. And I've lived all over the Midwest doing it, but Kentucky's home. Louisville's home. I was a fireman when I started my professional career in 2003 till 2009. I know you can't really see me, but I'm the guy furthest to the back there. We are passionate about serving veterans, police, fire, EMS, teachers, nurses. So we work really hard to support those causes in town because most of us at White Oak or at Front Runner are veterans or had something to do with EMS, police, fire. That's my wife and two daughters, bottom left. And then these are the companies that we own. So this is one reason I think I get to be here today. We do a free Business Booster series. It's a free sales training class. We teach one topic per semester, typically spring and fall. We're not going to do spring this year. We will pick up in the fall with, whatever topic we teach. So last was influence. We teach charisma, persuasion, and it's 6 classes on how to get really good with one sales topic. Everybody's welcome. There are no exclusions. We have lawyers, realtors, mortgage bankers, everything. So when we're doing a conversation, when I teach, I don't teach, I facilitate. That's the way I like to do things. So I would like to make this more of a conversation because you are all very good. And I'd like to hear what you all have to say. So what's our goal when we network? What's the goal? Connections, relationships, what else? Business, right? We want all of this to end in a reciprocal relationship where maybe we can help someone else by sending them some business or something that helps them along. And we would like the same thing in return. So the primary goal is to expand our sphere. Everybody, who's here's done a sphere of influence training? Okay, a lot of opportunity to learn here. Who here's done a networking training? Oh my God, okay. So our goal when we're networking is to expand our sphere, to grow our sphere of influence, and to reinforce the relationships that we already have inside of our sphere. So it's not just meeting a new person, it's reinforcing the relationships that we have with the existing community. That's why you can't go one time to a networking event. Does everybody agree? Who's heard, oh, I went, I didn't get anything out of it? Okay, maybe some of us have said it. I went, I didn't get anything out of it. Well, I hear 2 things. Either we weren't persistent and consistent with our marketing, or we don't know what we're doing. The first thing I would like to encourage you all to do is to plan on consistency. Everything that you're going to have to do networking-wise is going to take you at least a year. There are groups that I've been networking in for 10 years, and I just started getting leads from them. Now, out of that group, 2 of them are $1 million plus. But it took 10 years of work. These are things that we have to invest in. If anybody wants to trust you, they're going to have to get to know you. So, why am I passionate about networking? When I left CarMax, which was the national automotive retailer that I was a sales trainer for, 2014, I spent 6 months in insurance. Who here sold insurance? Anybody ever gotten their property casualty license? Okay. That is the hardest sale I have ever seen. For me, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody has things that are really easy for them. Some people have things that are challenging no matter what. I went broke, fell out of insurance in 6 months. Now, what was the difference between me being a rock star and a sales trainer in one organization and being a failure in another? It was my own ability because I didn't know what I was doing. when you would, like inside sales, if you're Verizon, AT&T, CarMax, any of these places, car dealerships, the marketing machine brings you the client. You don't have to be the machine. You don't have to be the marketer. You're just really good at a process. You stand at the door, you shake a hand, you learn how to be very persuasive inside of the sales process, and you get really good. Well, that's completely different when we're dealing with outside sales or with marketing ourselves as real estate professionals. We have to be really aware that if our machine doesn't turn, we have no clients. So most of the time, what you should be thinking about is marketing. Now, networking is one part of that marketing plan. So consider it just one piece, one tool in your tool belt. And that's why I love this, because I failed and I had to figure out how to do it my own way, the hard way. So let's talk about, oh, where did my coffee go? Set it down. All right, so let's talk about social capital. Do you think we are more attached as a culture to each other or more detached from each other as a culture? Detached. When we were growing up, I think most of us in this room did not have a cell phone. TV had 4 channels. Some of us didn't have air conditioning. You were forced to go outside. You lived outside. We had people we spent time with. And as professionals, we grow, and I'm sorry this is a little hard to see, who we spend our time with peaks at about 19 years old and drops significantly throughout time. So let's think about that in terms of our business. If your sphere of influence peaked right before college or in college, how successful is your business going to be if you're looking for referrals from your sphere? Pretty tough, right? It's limited. Let's go to the next one. Coworkers. I hope you pick people and organizations to work with that you like, because most of the time, that's the only people you're going to spend time with outside of your spouse. Children, after about 40, steady decline. Oh, now that I did that, here we go. With your partner, spikes until it doesn't, unfortunately, and the amount of time we spend alone skyrockets at your mid-30s. So to quote the old Benjamin Franklin quote, most people die at 25, they're not buried till they're 75. Okay? We are consistently not engaging with others. We find the people we like, we hang around them, they're the people that make us feel comfortable. I don't have to go make myself uncomfortable in uncomfortable rooms with people I don't know and people I have to talk to. I just want to depend on the people that I know, right? It's hard to do networking professionally. It is not easy. And think about everyone who you meet. Sometimes you go, oh, I don't know if they liked me. I don't know if that engagement went well. Everybody you meet is nervous. They are scared. They do not know how to do what you do. And when they walk into a networking room, they are intimidated because they don't spend much time with new people. This is a new exposure for most people. When you're networking, this is a whole new thing. So, who here has more than 500 friends on Facebook? Okay, this room's going to be different. Who's got more than 1,000? 2,000? 3,000? 4,000? All right, you guys, I'm so happy to see you guys put your hands up. And I think it maxes at 5 or 5,500, something like that on your personal friends page, yeah. Your average person in the United States has 338 friends. This is everybody they know. Think about it. I'm friends with people I went to kindergarten with. I haven't talked to them since elementary school, right? And they're in everybody's friends list. The average person has 338 friends, median is 200. If you're in the top 15%, you have 500 or more friends. To give you an idea. So for your average person, or when you're marketing and you're looking for people with a big sphere of influence, because that's one of the things we need to take advantage of, we want to build relationships with people who have big spheres, right? You got to think, where's this person coming from? What's their background? How likely are they to be able to send me a deal, or to help me, or to refer me? So the 2 questions we ask ourselves as adults in just about every decision we make is, can I do it and is it worth it? Your average person, you have to think, you might get their sale, you might get friends and family, close sphere. You're not going to get a lot unless you're in business networking rooms. So as salespeople, who's seen the funnel? Has everybody seen the sales funnel? Okay, I'm an old car guy, so I teach things a little bit differently. The sales funnel is really easy. Awareness is marketing. It's what we do to build our reputation and our state in the community where people go, oh, Ken's great. You're great. I've seen your videos all over the place, right? This is what you're doing, right? Everybody's going, oh, hey, I know this person. They're great at what they do. And then we get engaged in the sales process where we help people evaluate homes, purchase homes, and then we want to retain that relationship. Everything in the middle that you can't really see, depending on the lights, I'm sorry, is your interest and intention. We're going to talk a little bit about this. Our goal is to create awareness and then get engaged in the nuts and bolts of the transaction. Now, most of the time, when we're in the nuts and bolts of the transaction, that is a very small percentage of time that we need to commit to that. So how much time do you really think you spend doing the paperwork, writing a contract, maybe showing a home? How many hours a week? Not spring, not summer, just average. Anybody? 2 to 4, okay? Most of my agents are going to spend less than 10 a week, okay? Now, less than 10 a week with very little marketing, in 2020, you could still sell 15 homes a year. You could sleep all day, watch Netflix half the time, and still sell 10 to 20 homes, right? It's not that same way now. So this is the sphere of influence. I'm going to hit on this because this is how I like to help everyone understand the room that they're going to be in. And we're going to transition out of this pretty quickly. In the center is a trust circle. Everybody got a piece of paper. Write down the names of 5 people who are your most trusted and closest associates. People who you love, people who, when there's an emergency, you will call, people you confide in, people who know your secrets. That's your trust circle. Should be 5 to 7 people. Okay. The next circle is your like circle. That's also going to be 5 to 7. Those are people who you really enjoy hanging out with. You maybe don't tell them everything, but they're important to you and your business. Now, say what? So I love that. Okay. That is a very difficult thing to do. Most people are not going to get more than 10 people in both of those circles. That's your closest sphere. Those are your referral partners that are maybe outside of real estate. Some of them are in real estate. If they're in real estate, your closest trust circle, you're not getting as many referrals as you need. You need to find people to be in that trust circle who are going to be able to send you deals. Now, the last circle are people who know you. Now, in this circle, psychologists say you can keep 200 or so people. People who know who you are, they might see you at a networking event. They're going to be top of mind for them, but they don't really know you. And you're always willing and you're always working to build more trust with these folks. Now, how many people can we remember the names and faces of? Ha! Good answer. Or if I've had something to drink. So that's going to be 500. You can remember 500 names, 500 faces. How many people's faces can you remember? 1,500. Okay? Now think about this circle. If you've got 200 people, roughly, in your sphere of influence, how important is each person? Pretty important, right? You can't bring them up, they will bring you down. And to quote my uncle, I think it's one of my favorite quotes of all time, you can't soar with eagles if you're hanging with turkeys. Everybody in your circle, everybody in your sphere is valuable because people are going to judge you based on the company you keep, and those people are going to be sending you your clients. If you don't have the greatest clients, well, maybe the people sending them to you, you need to reevaluate. So, bonding and bridging. This is actually from a non-governmental organization that helps with child poverty. And what they found is that people who grow up, actually, let's just go ahead to that. In different classes are exposed to different words and different amounts of words and at different frequencies. So if you were born in the welfare class, you are only going to be exposed to 13 million words by age 4. Conversely, if you're in a professional class, your parents are professionals, you're going to be exposed to 45 million words. Affirmations is, this is something separate, but hey, good job. Prohibitions is, hey, you didn't do good, right? So in a professional household, somebody's going to hear 45 million words by the age of 4. Now, how many words does it take for somebody to figure out your social class? 7. Your social class and what people are going to be evaluating, hey, does this person have the ability to help me? Can they refer me business? What kind of business is it they're going to be referring to me? Are these going to be professional clients or are these going to be people who maybe need down payment assistance, right? We work with a lot of those folks. No problem with it at all. But it's something we need to know Because is it easier to sell a $100,000 house or a $500,000 house? $500,000 house all day. You're going to work your butt off on an $80,000 deal. You give me $1 million deal, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not that tough. So we want to go for the 45 million words. Now, bonding and bridging, when we're talking to people inside of a networking room, this is what we're doing. We're bringing people into our sphere, and we want to bring them towards the trust circle. Now, we don't have to trust everybody that trusts us, but we want everyone to feel like they can trust us. So we have to display all of those things. One of the ways that we do that is we can talk about clubs, neighbors, religious organizations, formal organizations in school. And in school, who here is from Louisville, Kentucky? Most of us, a lot of us? Okay, you may not get this if you're not from here. Why is it so important what high school we went to in this town? Right? A lot of other cities, it's what college did you go to. In Louisville, Kentucky, it's what high school did you go to. Because we have a great manufacturing base, and we can do that. You go to Kansas City, and you start talking about what high school you went to, they're going to laugh you right out of the room. But it's part of Louisville culture, right? So we're looking for, hey, who do I know that you know? Oh, you're part of this person's crew. Okay, well, then I trust this person. I can adopt that for you, right? We are building relationships based on these things typically. This is how we feel people out when we're talking in a room. Easy things to connect on that are not politics. They're not opinions. They're not things that are easily offensive. And that is called bridging capital. We're bridging. We're searching for ways to become friends with people. And then as we move into establishing those things, we have a bond. And as we establish that bond, that's where you're going to get your referrals from. Those bonded relationships are very important. So, real quick, if you want to know what social class someone is in, they did studies to figure out how many words people talk about. These are the things that the welfare class talk about most frequently. This is all from a wonderful organization that helps lift families and children out of poverty. If you're in the working class, this is what a lot of us talk about. And if you're in the professional class, boom, it's more about connections. It's more about who you know, because currency is connections. We're all going to get paid based on the community that we keep. That's how this works. Now, this is GLAR. Everybody's seen this. I hope everybody's seen this. Everybody get the GLAR email that comes out every Monday or something like that, and you can see and track how many homes we sold. I would bet, who here doesn't have 4 seasons? Is anybody in this room that doesn't have 4 seasons? Okay. So seasonality is a big deal when you're looking at sale volume. But, say what? Oh. What? You're talking about seasoning? Oh, no. No, I'm talking about like if you live in an arid climate and it's desert all day long. If you live in LA or Miami, it's not going to be this way. But if you look in the low part of our season, we're going to sell typically, let's say 2020, we were selling 1,000 homes, and that was going to be December, January. That was going to be our lowest level of homes. Do you guys think that if there's 1,000 transactions, you guys can each get one of those? Yeah? If you're telling yourself, no, I don't do well in the winter months, you're selling yourself short. There was 1,000 transactions. Right now, there's like 500 a month in the slow season. You can go get one of the 500. So right now, as of last year, July was the peak, 1,500 homes sold in July in GLAR. Now, the reason I show you this is because this is our marketing cycle. The orange line represents how much time we need to spend marketing, not just networking, but marketing. Now, I'm going to encourage you to spend 20 hours a week on your networking, because I think shaking a hand, having a personal relationship with somebody is a lot better than a flyer. It's a lot better than a mailer. It's a lot better than an email drip campaign. It's a lot better than a text message. So as the market heats up, we have to naturally cut back on our marketing, because we talked about the nuts and bolts of our job might take us 10 hours in the spring or summer. We might be spending 20 because we got buyers. If you have 5 buyers, God bless your soul, you're going to be busy, right? So you'll have to cut back on your marketing, but you should still be marketing 15 to 20 hours a week during the summer. During the wintertime, I'm going to encourage you to do 30 hours. Everybody goes, oh, October, the housing market's done. I don't need to market anymore. I'm going to take the holidays off. It could be flyers, could be networking, could be creating social media content. Anything that's going to get you in front of someone else, whether that be digital, geographic marketing, or in-person marketing. 15 to 20 hours in the wintertime. And that's the way I teach both of our brokerages. And it works. Because why? So let's take a look at this. As you guys can see, October hits, sales volume plummets. What are we doing? We got nothing else to do. Let's go market, right? Now, if you lose a deal in March, let's say your neighbor's house goes on the market, and you're looking out the window and you're looking at somebody else's sign in their front yard and it's driving you crazy. Who's been there? Okay, I've been there. When did we lose that deal? Did we lose that deal when they put the sign in the yard? No, we lost it 6 months prior, at least. So if you stop marketing in the fall, you're losing your early spring deals. Now, what are some other reasons that transactions tend to, plummet in the fall? Just think about it. School, that's a good one, right? So people want to relocate while kids are out of school. They're going to buy, shift homes, maybe geographic areas. What else? Holidays. Nobody wants to sell during the holidays. What are some other reasons? Elections. Boy, that was a big one this year, right? I don't know if you guys saw or felt the market really grind to a halt climbing up to the election. What are some other ones? How many people are getting proposed to in October? Less, typically. If someone passes away, do the kids want to handle the estate during the wintertime? They want to wait till the spring. Okay? Divorces. Folks, you are talking high divorce season. Everybody meets a new partner in June, July. They realize they want to shack up with them around Valentine's Day. They start having the conversations with their current spouse in October. They don't break up until January 1st because they don't want to hurt the kids in their last holiday. And by February 14th, they're all looking for a new home. Remember, life transitions is what our business is based off. So life changes is where we come in. If you're not dealing well with life changes, then you're not marketing to those life changes. You're not going to get those deals, especially if you're not marketing in the fall. Because everybody wants to talk to you. They're going to say, hey, Ken, you got to keep this quiet. But, my wife and I were splitting. She doesn't know it yet. I'm already talking to a lawyer. He said, figure out what the house is worth. How many have had that conversation? A lot of us, right? That's where agency comes in. We got to keep our mouth shut. That's how these things work. So we know now that we need to be marketing all year round. We're going to market a little less in the summer. Networking is important. The way you speak to people is important. But let's look at this room. Tell me what you guys see. This is actually from the Middletown Chamber's grand opening of Publix just a few months ago. What do you guys see when you look at this? You walk into a networking room and this is what you see. Tell me what you see. Small groups. How many people in each group? 4. What else do you guys see? Hands in pockets. Thank you. Not a great sign. What's another thing you see? Say what? It's around food. Food is always a great gathering place. Food or spirits. What else? Sports coats, professional dress. That's a good one. What else? Crossed arms. That's a good one. What'd you say? People are looking at their phones. Okay. There's a lot of good pickups. So if you walk in and you're new to networking, this can be intimidating. This is really intimidating for most people, no matter how long you've been networking. And if it's a new room to you, even if you're an experienced networker, you can feel nervous. It's okay. Let's talk about what things that we see people doing well. So I like this guy over in the corner, even though the lady has her hand on her phone. He doesn't have his hands in his pockets. Hands in pockets, not always the best way to handle things, folks. This. Put your hands right here. Just like this. Sometimes you can do the Undertaker, right? I've heard it called this, the Undertaker. I don't know why it's called this. But you want to keep your hands out of your pockets. Hands in pockets signals boredom or nervousness. Okay? Now we see people working in a semicircle. Men communicate shoulder to shoulder. Okay? If I was to square up with you or with any man, it's front. It will make him feel challenged. It's not the way you want to communicate if you're a man. Women, conversely, fight differently. Okay? Women, a lot of times fighting is going to be ruining your reputation. So they don't mind squaring up because a lot of times it's not going to end up in a physical altercation. So a woman, if you're a man, will square up with you and there shouldn't be any challenge. A man should always be very careful to square up with a woman because it can indicate, I don't know what the best way to say it. It can come off aggressive. You shouldn't do that. Okay? So side-to-side communication in a semicircle, groups of 2 to 3 typically. Here's something that you should all know. If I was to put a 5th person in any of these groups, the group will dissolve in 30 seconds or less. It's been statistically studied. Okay? Now, if I want to blow up your group because I want to talk to you and I don't want this person talking to you, what do I want to do? I'm going to bring in somebody to blow up your group, and it'll dissolve like that. Real simple. Okay? Typically, the group tends to cluster around the person, what I call the highest gravity, kind of like planets. People see people, oh, hey, man, how you doing? It's been a long time. And they won't move because you made them feel comfortable. And this person's going to be right by your side the entire time. Have you guys had this? Okay? People tend to cluster around the person with the highest status, who makes them feel the best, who offers them a feeling of significance. So if you can work to establish trust and to help people feel significant, like you're happy that they're there, they will hang out with you from the second you get in there. It's an interesting kind of a situation. So everybody pick this out. We've got our clusters. Here's another room. These are just random photos that I've taken from the Middletown Chamber's website. Happens the same way every time. Now, you walk into a room, you don't know what you're looking at, you're not an experienced networker. This looks like chaos. It's actually very well ordered. Now, let's talk about smiling. So we went through why networking is important, when we should do it. We should always do it. 15 to 20 hours minimum in the, or networking, 15 to 20 hours in the wintertime, 30 plus hours in the summer. Excuse me, conversely, 30 plus hours in the winter, 15 to 20 in the summer. And here's a few tips to help you succeed in a networking room. So does anybody know Joy Bryant? She had the best coy smile I'd ever seen, so I took it. She owns an insurance agency here in town. So there are 3 types of smiles. People discovered them. I don't know how you discover a smile, but they got to name them. The first is a Pan Am smile. Pan Am smile means, hey, nice to meet you. Right? I'm not really excited about you. This is great. Okay, Pan Am. A Duchenne smile is a full smile. You're showing teeth, the sides of your eyes are lifted. This is a Duchenne, okay? Duchenne smiles work. Pan Am smiles make everyone uncomfortable. Do you know the story behind Pan Am? Airlines went out of business in the 50s, 60s. The reason it's called a Pan Am smile is because they were like, God, our stewardess, flight attendants now, they just seem mean. Let's make everybody smile. And then all of a sudden, everybody smiled like this for every airline passenger. This is great. Right? Okay? We're not getting anywhere with that. You're actually going to be less successful with a Pan Am smile. Now, 85% of people can tell a fake smile. So you have to get really good at faking it. Truthfully. Or really enjoy what you're doing. And then you have a coy smile, which means I don't believe you. Okay? Those are the three main smiles. And there's variations of each. So there you go. Now, I didn't pick this because of the people. Forgive me. I'm not trying to bring politics into anything. Joe Biden's picture, big, full Duchenne smile. Boehner, I guess his name, Boehner. He was the Speaker of the House. Right? Doesn't look as welcoming. Doesn't look as inviting. Because he went with the Pan Am smile. So, on the right, what do we have? Okay. Sorry. That's your right. So, yeah, on this right, we got the Duchenne. On the left, we have a Pan Am. Now, I believe in drinking as much as possible, to an excess sometimes, but I want you to know alcohol is a great social lubricant for social networking. Does everybody agree? Right? It's a lot easier for people to come out of their skin and to be who they are. But we have to be really careful, okay? Because this actually is not a study on smiles. This is from a study on alcohol use, and that is 1 drink, 2 drinks, 3 drinks, 4 drinks. Okay? This is 4 glasses of wine for this young lady. That's 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4. Now, 4 glasses of wine probably won't touch most people in here because we're salespeople and we drink professionally. But as you can see, there's a real opportunity for this person on the far right to make a bad decision. to make a bad impression, to leave a lasting impression with someone, but boy, you don't want to hang out with that person, right? You got to be super careful. I believe in having a nice cocktail when you're networking. I think it's great for everybody, but be extremely careful. Here's another thing. Our body emits signals. These signals are uncontrollable very often. You know, this whole put my hand in my pocket, I'm uncomfortable, right? Not looking at somebody in the eyes signals that I'm uncomfortable. But often, blushing, watery eyes, sweaty palms, these are things that people are aware of, but they can't control them. If you see someone going through this in a room by themselves, they'd be just fine, right? They're not worried about they're worried about how you perceive them, and it's making them extremely uncomfortable. Because when you enter the room in that engagement, up until the point where they started talking to you, they were just fine, right? You were seeing your effect on someone in their nonverbals. If you see this, do your best. Tell a joke, make a laugh, excuse yourself, do whatever you can do to help that person feel more comfortable. Because it's not fair that somebody walks into a room and they just may be nervous people and they may not enjoy it. So, you know, hey, you got to think, am I coming off strong? Is this person naturally nervous? What is happening to where this person's reactions are less way? Okay, so this is going to get towards wrapping up. I cut out a lot of stuff. Typically, I teach this over a course of 3 hours. And I'm going to we're going to piggyback to what's on the screen. Everybody should write down this. When you're going to a networking event, it should be planned, it should be on your calendar, it should be scheduled. You should know where you're going. It should not be a surprise. Oh, there's a networking room I'm going to pop into. If you've done it a long time, okay. But you should really plan these things. Consistency is key. If it's not on your calendar, it won't happen. Pre-schedule time in your calendar to look at who's going to attend. Everything's on Facebook now. Okay, you can tell just about everybody who's going to go. Then you can cross-reference with LinkedIn. Hey, who's this professional? Who's this professional? Is this somebody that could help my business? Is this somebody I want to get to know? And then learn about them. And we just might happen to stumble on the topics that you're passionate about. You know, oh gosh, you really like classic cars? You like to dirt bike? You like to go off-roading? You like to sew? I don't know. But I'm going to figure out what it is, and I'm going to talk to you about it. We're just going to happen to stumble into it. Because if I bring up something you're passionate about, what's going to happen to you? You'd be more comfortable. So do your pre-work. And then schedule 2 coffees, 2 lunches for every networking event you do. Have it in your calendar. If somebody says, hey, when are you going to be available? You should know. You don't have to go, oh, well, let me check your calendar. Well, it should be, hey, I got coffees at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, or I got lunch at noon on Tuesdays. Just pre-calendar it. And then say it right there. Because what happens if we don't get the engagement or get the appointment inside the room? The likelihood that we convert, what happens? Goes down, right? So follow-up's very important. But if we don't convert in the room, the likelihood we're going to have time with that person one-on-one is going to go down. Now, we have 2 things we have to think about in every engagement. So if we meet somebody in the networking room for the first time, how many times is it going to take to convert them to a client if we were in insurance? This is it's a consistent insurance thing. How many touch points? You guys know this? 8 to 12. It's going to take 8 to 12 engagements before that person will be considered a trustworthy person or a likable person, someone you would be giving your business to. Okay? If it takes more than that, it's either not your person or you need to work on your skills. Okay? So 8 to 12. Now the key is how quickly can I get 8 engagements with you or 8 touch points with you after we meet for the first time? So if the frequency, if I call you twice a year, hey, I just want to remind you I exist. Are you going to be the top of mind when they need something? Are you going to be their go-to? It's frequency and value of touch. So let's think about this. What's a low value, high frequency touch? Anybody got any ideas? What is it? Drip email. Drip email has an open rate of what, everybody? What is it? 2. National open rate for a drip email campaign is 2%. Are you getting any value out of that? Very little. Is it going to convert somebody to your client? No. It's just going to remind them that you exist. So what's a high value touch point? Phone call. Okay. The highest value is shaking their hand. being in person with them, doing something together. So, for instance, U of L's on a tear. Buy 6 tickets to a U of L game. Take your 6 biggest referrals and just have a good time. Just spend time with people. It doesn't even have to be business related, because what people in this town want to know is, do I like you? Do I trust you? And I think that's most towns, but Louisville is an extremely small town. That's what Louisville's about, is the community. So high value, high frequency. How quickly can I get 8 to 12 touch points, and are they high value touch points? If I'm doing low value touch points or I'm extremely infrequent, I'm not going to build that relationship, which is why it's consistency. One of the easy ways to stay consistent with networking is to have it scheduled and to go to the same group over and over and over again until you either realize this is a great group, I'm going to stay here forever, or I need to bounce because this group will not be what I need it to be for my business. All right. So that's just about everything. See the sale as a multi-month goal. Like I said, if you meet somebody in October, you're probably going to work for them in March, April, May, June, July. The strength of your social bond is as likely to determine a transaction as the need for the transaction itself. So when people go through life changes, hey, I got to move. I got to get my kid in a different school district. I got relocated for a job. My parents passed away. The social bond that you have with that person will determine who they hire, because really we're selling ourselves. We sell real estate for other people. We sell ourselves for our business. Okay, so I put Scott's face on Ted Nugent. I hope he likes that. When you guys come to my classes, I pick on people. You guys will have your faces on everybody. So what's the primary goal of networking? It's to build our sphere and to reinforce our sphere. How many people can we actively keep in our spheres? Roughly 200. We can remember how many faces, how many names. 1,500 faces with 500 names. How many people can we actively keep in our sphere? We talked about that one. What are the keys to building strong relationships while networking? I didn't touch on this one as much, but it's trust and a feeling of significance. That's what you should be looking for. You should offer people a feeling of significance. When you're excited to see them, they'll be excited to see you. We should always consider, I don't even remember what the answer is to that one. All right. How many words does it take for someone to determine your social class? And if you can help them or be a good referral? 7 words. Groups tend to cluster in 2 or 3. If you bring in 5, you're dissolving the group. And that's it for me, guys. If you guys have any questions, I'll stick up here for a second. I don't want to overrun my time. So, questions? Yeah. It's, and I can email it to you. Right there. Meaningful differences in the everyday experience of young American children, 1995. Yes, ma'am?
You said after each networking event, schedule 2 coffees and 2 lunches, or 2 coffees or 2 lunches?
No, I do 4. And well, excuse me, I used to do 4, now I just do lunches because I don't have enough time. I wish I had more time. But I have a lunch, I eat a lunch 5 days a week with somebody different. I will not eat lunch with the same person twice inside of 1 quarter. So I'm going to try to have 90 different lunches. Well, 90 different lunches, roughly 90 different engagements with different people. Does that answer your question? What? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so when we're working for people, we're trying to determine, are they like me? Are they similar? Proximity. That's why we ask about high schools. What part of town are you from? Well, I'm from, Springhurst area. Okay, well, you might be my neighbor. Oh, you're from the South End. Okay, well, we're not neighbors. We probably don't have as many people in common. It's going to be harder to support because communities are hyper local, okay? Now, when we're talking about similarity, we want to say, hey, is this person similar to me? Do they have the same lingo? So, for instance, my kid said the word Riz the other day. He got the Riz, right? Okay, 5 minutes, we got to go. I didn't know what it meant, okay? I don't speak that language, right? They're communicating something that's beyond me. Now, as adults, we go, can I do it? Is it worth it? If somebody asks you something, can I do it? Yeah. Am I going to do it for you? I don't know. Okay, that's the two matrix that we run most of our decisions through. Well, if you meet people who you don't feel like can help you, right? If you're trying to market to get the $500,000 million listings, we market for the listings we want. I have to be careful about what rooms and in which people I spend my time with. Okay? Not to say that anybody's better or lesser. That's not the point of this. Everybody is equal, treat everybody the same. But if I have to pick for my business, just like geographical marketing, what listings do I want? If I'm sending out a postcard to a neighborhood, I'm targeting Springhurst. I'm targeting Norton Commons. I'm targeting the bigger neighborhoods with higher values. Something to consider. One more question. Anything? Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay. All right. Okay, so she asked, if someone's talking too much and you need to, well, you want to a lot of times. It's like, I got to extract myself from this conversation because I'm dying. Okay. First thing, open up. So you're going to be talking in a semicircle a lot of times. Put a place there for someone else to come save you. Okay. Because a lot of times we're just kind of in a circle. Let me just kind of make a little bit back down. Okay. Then once we do that, if they don't get the hint, I'm going to grab somebody. Have you seen, do you know X person? Please, hey, you guys, you got to meet. You guys could do so much business. All right, well, then I'm going to pull him in. If that doesn't work, I'm going to go get a beer. I'm going to be real honest with you. And then I'm going to buy a second beer, and I'm going to walk up to some group that I want to be in or that I don't know or that I haven't met, and I'm going to say, hey, the bartender gave me an extra beer. You want this? And then I'm in. Because once you stick your hand out, if I'm going to give you something, people naturally open up. They're going to turn out because their circle was closed. I'm going to hand him something. He's going to open up and then hand him a beer with one hand, shake his hand with the other. Real simple. That's the way I do it. Yeah. And if some people won't get the hint even then. You just hang with them, smile, be as nice as you can to them. Never, sometimes things get awkward, especially in social interactions, so just be as kind as you can. Everybody's nervous. Just real quick, lastly, this is the last point I want to make. We have planets, and that's where people tend to group. It's what I call the high gravity people. Be a comet as much as you can. Pass through as many groups as you can, shake as many hands as you can. And if anyone feels uncomfortable, if anyone is nervous, go out of your way to shake their hand and to bring them in the group. Isolation is how we harm people, right? Kid is not being good, we send them to their room. Okay? Prisoner can't handle himself in jail, they send him to isolation. You do something wrong in Russia, you get sent to Siberia. Right? Isolation is torture. If you walk into a room and you're alone and you don't know anybody, how do you feel? Feel about this big. Always go out of your way to shake someone's hand, bring them with you if you know they don't know somebody, and contribute to their success as well. Because you'll find as you help them and their business, your business will grow exponentially. It's a multiplier. Like I said, I'm going to go grab a beer. And I'm not going to be nervous. I'm going to walk right up to you. Here's a beer in the left hand, shake hand in the right hand. We're new best friends. Yeah, and remember, if you did your pre-work, you know who you want to talk to. So you know who is interesting, who could help your business, and what they like. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you all.